There will always be people in your life who will test your patience, challenge your peace, and sometimes make you question your own character. You can't avoid them. You can't always change them, but you can control how you respond to them. Because the truth is, how you handle difficult people reveals more about you than it does about them. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you may not see. Some people are rude because they've been hurt. Some are arrogant because they're insecure. Some are controlling because they fear losing power. When you understand that behavior is often the result of pain, not personality, you begin to see people differently. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding wisely. That's where your strength lies, not in fighting every fool that crosses your path, but in mastering your emotions enough to rise above them. Every difficult person you encounter has a story behind their behavior, a reason why they act the way they do. It's easy to label someone as rude, arrogant, or toxic, but very few take the time to understand what made them that way. People's actions are often a reflection of their internal world, their past experiences, wounds, insecurities, and fears. When someone speaks harshly, it could be because they were never spoken to with kindness. When someone tries to control everything, it might be because they've lived through chaos and fear losing stability. Understanding this truth doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you stop taking it personally. You start to realize that their negativity isn't about you, it's about them. When you understand the source of someone's behavior, you develop empathy instead of anger. Empathy doesn't mean you agree with them or accept mistreatment. It simply means you see beyond the surface. You recognize that pain can make people defensive, that fear can make them manipulative, and that insecurity can make them arrogant. Everyone you meet is fighting a silent battle. Some are fighting for love, some for validation, some just to feel enough. When you grasp this perspective, it becomes easier to remain calm instead of reactive. Responding wisely starts with awareness. When someone lashes out at you, instead of reacting impulsively, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what might this person be going through? That small shift in mindset can transform conflict into understanding. You can't fight darkness with more darkness, you overcome it with light. By choosing compassion over confrontation, you disarm the power struggle that difficult people thrive on. The truth is, people project what's unresolved within them. A person full of peace won't create drama. A person full of love won't spread hate. So when someone's words or actions disturb your peace, remember, they're revealing their own wounds, not your weakness. Your power lies in your perspective. When you learn to look beyond behavior and see the human behind it, you stop letting their chaos control your emotions. You begin to operate from a place of strength, patience, and understanding. And that's how you truly handle difficult people, by seeing through the pain that drives them. You cannot control how other people behave, but you have complete control over how you respond to them. That is where your true power lies. Most people spend their energy trying to change others, trying to make them act right, talk right, or treat them better. But the truth is, you can't change a person who doesn't see a problem with their behavior. What you can change is your reaction. The moment you stop reacting emotionally to every insult, every negative comment, and every attitude, you take back control of your peace. It's not what they say or do that hurts you the most. It's how you choose to respond to it. When you let someone's words ruin your day, you're handing them your emotional remote control. Stop giving people that power. When you encounter a difficult person, the best thing you can do is stay calm. Don't meet fire with fire, meet it with water. Your composure is your weapon. People who try to provoke you want to see you lose control because that's how they win. The moment you react in anger, they've succeeded in pulling you into their chaos. But when you respond with calm confidence, you show them they can't shake your peace. You show them you are in charge of your emotions, not them. Silence, in many situations, speaks louder than words. Sometimes walking away is stronger than arguing. Self-control doesn't mean weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and strength. It takes a powerful mind to stay composed when others are losing theirs. It takes maturity to choose peace over pride. Every time you hold back a reaction, you build emotional discipline. And with each situation, you grow stronger, wiser, more stable. Eventually, you'll reach a point where people's behavior no longer disturbs your inner world because you've mastered the art of emotional balance. Remember, reacting is easy. Anyone can do that. But responding requires strength and intention. It means thinking before speaking, breathing before reacting, and choosing peace over chaos. When you learn to control your reaction, you stop being a puppet to people's moods and start being the master of your own. That is how you truly handle difficult people, not by fighting them, but by refusing to let them control the way you feel. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to protect your peace when dealing with difficult people. Many people confuse kindness with weakness, thinking that being nice means saying yes to everything or tolerating mistreatment. But real kindness includes the courage to say no when necessary. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are filters to protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. When you set boundaries, you're not rejecting others, you're respecting yourself. It's about recognizing that your peace of mind matters just as much as anyone else's comfort. Difficult people often push limits. They test how far they can go, how much they can take, and how easily they can manipulate your emotions. If you allow them to cross your lines once, they'll do it again. That's why boundaries are not selfish, they're essential. Saying no doesn't make you rude. Choosing silence doesn't make you weak. Walking away doesn't make you arrogant. It means you value your inner peace more than pointless conflict. The moment you realize you don't owe anyone your energy, explanations, or approval, you become free from emotional exhaustion. Creating healthy boundaries requires clarity and confidence. You have to decide what you will and will not allow in your life. If someone constantly disrespects you, stop giving them access to your space. If someone drains your energy every time you talk, limit your conversations. You don't need to fight or argue about it. Your peace doesn't need defending, it just needs protecting. When you draw clear lines, people who truly respect you will honor them, and those who don't will eventually distance themselves. Both outcomes are good for you. Boundaries are acts of self-love. They tell the world, I know my worth, and I will not let anyone diminish it. You can care about people deeply and still refuse to let them treat you unfairly. You can forgive someone and still decide not to let them back into your life. It's not about revenge or pride, it's about peace. Every time you choose boundaries over chaos, you strengthen your self-respect. And once you've experienced the calm that comes with protecting your space, you'll never feel guilty for saying no again. Every difficult person you meet is a lesson in disguise. It's easy to see them as obstacles sent to frustrate you, but in truth, they are mirrors reflecting the areas in your life that still need growth. The people who test your patience are teaching you how to be patient. The ones who criticize are teaching you how to stay confident in your truth. The ones who misunderstand you are teaching you how to stop seeking validation. When you start seeing difficult people as teachers instead of enemies, your whole perspective shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start seeing every challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger. Sometimes life uses people to train you for what's next. Every rude boss, every ungrateful friend, every argumentative relative, they all play a role in shaping your emotional resilience. Without them, you wouldn't learn calmness in chaos, compassion under pressure, or strength through struggle. Growth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from confrontation. And often, the confrontation isn't with others. It's with the parts of yourself that still need discipline and maturity. Difficult people expose your emotional triggers. They reveal what still controls you. If someone's words can easily upset you, it means there's something inside that needs healing. When you begin to understand this, you stop asking, why is this person like this? And start asking, what is this situation teaching me? That shift is where your power begins. You learn to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. You learn to observe without judgment. You begin to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Life will never run out of difficult people, but if you keep learning from them, you will eventually reach a place where their behavior no longer shakes you. Seeing them as teachers doesn't mean you tolerate abuse or disrespect. It means you extract wisdom from the experience. You recognize that even negativity has purpose. The lessons they bring are not always pleasant, but they are always powerful. You grow wiser, calmer, and more in control. So instead of asking for easier people, learn to ask for greater understanding. Every person who tests you is helping shape the stronger, wiser version of you that life is calling you to become. The greatest strength you can ever develop is the ability to keep your peace when everything around you is trying to steal it. Difficult people thrive on reaction. They feed off the chaos they create. But when you refuse to give them that reaction, when you choose calm over conflict, you take away their power. Peace doesn't mean you ignore problems or avoid confrontation. It means you don't let external noise disturb your inner balance. It's the quiet confidence of knowing who you are and what deserves your energy. You realize not every comment needs a response. Not every insult needs defense, and not every argument deserves your presence. When you hold on to your peace, you hold on to your power. People lose themselves when they let anger, pride, or ego take control. They say things they regret, make choices they can't undo, and give away their emotional stability. But when you stay grounded, you respond with clarity instead of confusion. You don't allow someone else's negativity to decide your mood or dictate your day. That level of control is rare and powerful. It takes maturity to remain silent when you're provoked, and strength to walk away when you could easily fight back. Every time you choose calmness, you grow in self-mastery. Peace doesn't come naturally, it's something you cultivate daily. It requires self-awareness, patience, and discipline. You learn to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, and to think before engaging. You begin to understand that silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Because sometimes, peace is not found in having the last word, it's found in having the strength to say nothing at all. And over time, that composure becomes your protection. It shields you from unnecessary stress, arguments, and regrets. The moment you make peace your priority, your life begins to change. Difficult people will still exist, but they will no longer have control over you. Their behavior will lose its grip because you'll be anchored within yourself. You'll realize that peace is not something you find in others, it's something you build within. When you master that, you become untouchable. The chaos may surround you, but it will never enter you. And that is the mark of true strength, the calm that nothing and no one can take away. In the end, handling difficult people is not about changing them. It's about transforming yourself. It's about growing into a person so grounded, so centered, that no one's attitude can shake your peace. When you learn to understand others instead of judging them, to respond instead of react, to set boundaries instead of building walls, and to see lessons instead of enemies, you rise above the chaos. You become the calm in the storm. The goal isn't to win arguments or prove people wrong. The goal is to protect your energy, preserve your joy, and keep your spirit unbothered. Because when you master the art of handling difficult people, you master the art of life itself.